Hey guys, late night story. This happened less than an hour ago. This was just really random. Just just me trying to help someone out, but it reminded me as to why I got to watch myself with who I help, because you don't want to get yourself into weird situations. So I'm at the store grabbing an energy drink. I really shouldn't be drinking those at all, actually, but I just wanted to get some caffeine in my system to try to get some more work done tonight. Just took a sip just now. So the store, I think it just closed when I went up to the self-checkout to pay for my energy drink, and one of the girls says, she says, "Card only, no cash." And I'm like, okay. So I go up to the self-checkout, I pay for my drink with my card, and then I see that near me there's a man standing there that was just told the same thing about the card and how it was cash only. No. I mean, not how it was card only, no cash. I screwed that up there. So he was told the same thing that I was told, and he's just standing there like, oh crap, I'm not going to pay for my stuff. And then he was like looking at his phone. I don't know if he thought he was about to call someone or something. I don't know what the fuck he was going to do. So I just go up to him and I say, "Sir, do you only have cash? Because I can pay for your stuff with my card, and after you give me the cash." He was like, and he was like kind of like, oh, he was awkward about it. I think he was a little embarrassed. He was quiet about it. He was like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, that's okay. I was like, "Okay, so you want to?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we go over to the self-checkout. He starts ringing up his stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, this is for my this is my coaching clothes that I'm buying, my coaching uniform." That's what he said to me. He said that he coaches a football team. I was like, "Oh, cool, high school." And he was like, "No, middle school kids." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, I said to him, "You're a father figure for some of these kids that don't have dads, for some of those kids because not all of them have dads." And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "It's pretty cool." So he starts ringing up his stuff. It ended up going up to a higher total than I thought it would. Not that it mattered, because he was going to pay for his stuff. Goes up to almost $80. I was like, "Okay, you just give me the cash and I'll pay for it." And then he was like, "Oh, the cash is in the car." And so I want to hear what you guys think about this. This is where it got really weird. So he said his cash was in the car, but why was his cash in the car if he couldn't pay with a card? Like, if he had a card and was going to pay with a card, he would have been fine. He wouldn't have been in that situation. But why was his cash in the car if card only for the self-checkout was an issue? That's what I'm just trying to figure out how. That's just, it was weird. It was weird. So, unless, I guess the only explanation I have is that he happened to forget his cash. He was planning on paying with just cash, finds out that it's card only, and then ends up, and then it turns out that he ended up leaving his cash in the car. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know what you think of that. He's like, "You can just pay, and then we'll like go get the cash from my car." It's like, he said something. He's like, "I'm not trying to point thing." I was like, "It's a lot of money, man. You got to go get your cash. Just bring it in, and then I'll run the card." I was like, so, and he was just hesitant about it, like he didn't want to. And I was just thinking, I was like, no, there is no way. I mean, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, if I was doing better, man, I would just cover the whole thing for you. I would tell you to not even have to worry about giving me the money, but because I like helping people out." But I was like, "Yeah, you got to go get your money." And then he was like hesitant about it, like he didn't want to. I was like, "Just ask one of the employees if you can just go outside and come back in. Go outside, get your cash, and come back in." And he was like, and he just was acting hesitant about it for a few moments. But then I think I said something to one of the employees, and she was like, I said something to one of the employees, and she was like, "Yeah, sure, you can do that." So he goes out of the building, and I was talking to one of the girls, the female employee there. He was like, "Yeah, you've probably seen a lot of crazy stuff here. It's like, I don't want him just trying to run off and not get the cash." And she's like, "Yeah," she's like, "I hear you." It's just, because I was like, I try to help people when I can, but it's just, people are just nasty. They just, there's people out there that just pull shit. So then a few minutes passed, and I was just waiting, and then I started saying to an employee, to the same employee, I was like, "I'm going to bounce in like 5 minutes if he's not back." And then right when I said that, he appears, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." He gives me the money. It was $80, so it was $1.04 higher than the total. He's like, "You can keep the difference, man." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." I was like, "Are you sure you don't want me to send the difference to Cash App?" He's like, "No, don't worry about it." I was like, "Cool." So I pay. He's like, "Yeah, you can keep the receipt." And then he said that he was really glad. He ended up thanking me like 3 times, but he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "Thanks for doing this. I wouldn't have been able to come back tomorrow and get the stuff because I teach and everything, and my schedule's really packed, so that's really great that you were able to do this." And I said to him, "Yeah, no problem, man." So then him and I start to head to the exit, and the entry and exit at the front of the store are both closed and shut, and there was a man standing there with a grocery cart like waiting to get out, and one of the employees, this employee, like looks at me, and I'm like, I'm thinking, what the fuck are you looking at me for? Like, why are these doors closed? And the guy with his cart is still standing there waiting for the door to open. I'm like, "No, you're not going to even make me feel like a prisoner in this goddamn building for even 2 seconds. That's what I was thinking to myself. So I go up to the door and I pushed it. I grabbed it and just like tried to pull it to the left, but then the door like went out. And I'm just like, yeah, that was totally that was fucked. In a situation like that, when the doors are inoperable, an employee is immediately supposed to let the exiting patron out. So that was weird. And so, yeah, I just pushed the door open and got the fuck out of there. And then don't know if it was the guy I helped or if it was someone else. I heard someone laughing behind me, and I'm just thinking, yeah, like fuck that, because yeah, it made me feel trapped in there. So yeah, yeah, just a case of me putting myself in an awkward situation. I was just trying to help someone. Part of me kind of regrets doing it, but I mean, whatever. I was able to help the guy. It didn't turn into anything bad. It's just that now I started to kind of. Part of me for a second was like started to go along with what the guy was trying to do with like, oh, just let's just a catch outside. I was like, no, you gotta go out and get it, man. Sorry. So don't let people rip you off or scam you. Maybe he was just, it was an opportunity for him. He was gonna try to just run off, but no, but this is why I just, like I said, really gotta watch with who I help, because there's people out there that'll just do fucked up things to you. So, all right, like, comment, let me know what you guys think.